bring Canelo in this conversation. It's a two-part question. I'm not sure if you knew, but Canelo did say, I just watched this, that watching you and Kovalev and watching your body attack, especially in that second fight, it gave him some fire, saying, I'm a good body puncher. I think I can execute against Kovalev. I'm not sure if you knew that, but he took something from your fight. And secondly, at this level, he's fighting, he just announced today that he's fighting Yildirim as a mandatory. But he's fighting 3 times. He's planning on fighting 3 times. We don't see that at guys at this level, right? I mean, do you have a problem with taking that mandatory and then looking at Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant down the line? Should people be upset at that?
No, I don't think anybody should be upset. I mean, that's really the name of the game. You know, at the end of the day, I don't care what your resume is, right? Like, you can't, it's not healthy to face a top guy, fight in and fight out. Like, you won't last long, and if you do, you're going to have some issues after your career is over. It is a chess game, so you got to take a hard fight, maybe a decent name, like he just fought Callum Smith. Then you got to take a mandatory. A mandatory is out of his hands. He's got to satisfy that from the WBC, and then take another good name in the sport like Billy Joe Saunders. So I don't have a problem with that at all.
Those are the words of Andre Ward as he was asked about Canelo Alvarez and what does he feel about Canelo Alvarez taking a hard fight, an easy fight, a hard fight. Also, along with the motivation that Canelo Alvarez mentioned from Andre Ward landing, executing power shots to Kovalev's body to break him up, to make him bend over and ultimately get the fight stopped. Now, I want to talk to you guys about that. And let me give you the backstory between Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev. Okay, the first fight was a close fight. Okay, it was a close fight. Andre Ward went down. Everybody knows I'm pro Ward. I'm a Ward fan. I know Kovalev was a beast. Okay, he was the beast to beat back then. And that guy was in the ring with Andre Ward. And Andre Ward, had a tough, hard fought fight with that guy, getting himself off the canvas by catching a solid right hand, okay? And he fought to the point where he won a decision. Now, I didn't agree with the decision. But I don't think the decision really mattered. The decision really defined characters of the two people. Okay, Kovalev had John David Jackson on his team, his trainer. And of course, Andre Ward was by Virgil Hunter. Okay, and of course, Andre was okay with it. He fought hard. He fought Kovalev. He didn't show signs that he was wearing. He didn't do a Bernard Hopkins and just survive. No, he fought to win, and he won. Now, again, what I feel about the decision, I think that Kovalev did beat him by 1 round, the round that he went down in. But that's just my opinion, okay? But the second fight, between the first fight and the second fight, Kovalev truly showed how big of a dickhead and how bitter he really was. You know what I mean? And it was one of those second to Mr. Wilder now, but I don't want to get on Wilder. It's not about Wilder, but it was one of those things where he took a loss badly. Okay? So he was like, Wilder wasn't the only one that did that. All right? And Kovalev, said things that didn't make sense. Oh, if I had a European or a Russian trainer, I would have won. I'm like, what did that have to do with the judges? You still would have been in the ring. You still would have done the same thing. But anyhow, right? Second fight happens. Andre Ward heard all the back talk, all the smack talk. He heard all the derogatory things that Sergey Kovalev said about him and about the first fight. Andre Ward took it like a man, looked him dead in his face at the face-off, didn't say a word, just watched him. Like, what? I'm here. And in the second fight, I was utterly, amazingly surprised because the body punching that was landed, and not only the body punching, the strong right hand that hit Kovalev and shook this boy up. This guy was shaken up by that right hand by Andre Ward. And Andre Ward started ripping punches to the body, and Kovalev couldn't take it, and they stopped the fight, and it was warranted. So then there was no, hey, I think I won. No, you got beat. Then Andre Ward goes off in the sunset, motivates guys like Canelo Alvarez to fight him years later. I mean, let's face it, that was years ago. Okay? But that fight was a very, very good fight. The saga was warranted. Andre Ward went down as one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world. On top of that, and a golden Olympian. So that's something that I want to share with you. And then Andre Ward did break some realness down. Have you heard him? You can't fight everyone all the damn time back to back. You can't do that. You're going to end up with problems. Ask Mildred Taylor. Bless him with his health. I hope he recovers. You have a lot. Evander Holyfield, James Toney. You're going to have problems. It's how you're being managed. Okay? We're people. We're not machines. We're not cyborgs. Okay? We are conditioned. We are people with feelings and nerves and all types of tissue and all types of things of that nature. Okay? Brain cells. You know? So those type of things wear and tear on your body over time. So I agree with Andre Ward on this particular video. I just wanted to share it with you. You guys tell me what you think about Andre Ward. Not surprised about Canelo Alvarez taking an easy fight after having a tough fight. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.